Welcome back to another Trading Journal entry. Today is September 19th, 2025, and it is New York session as always. This is going to be the 35th trade out of 100, and we have 65 remaining. Today's result was one win, one contract, and a P&L of $515, and a risk-reward ratio of 1.51. Let's get into it. Oh, well, look who decided to show up, man. Me. It's a little late. It's 9 a.m., but I'm happy. I'm happy, man. So yesterday's session was a win, of course, but I basically missed a double S plus tier trade setup that not only did I mark out and set up and could have taken a trade on, but I missed it because I just ignored it and I decided to say, it wouldn't make sense, or I'll just stay bearish. Just basically being a little too, I guess, loyal to the strategy or the setup at least. Yeah, definitely the setup. But yeah, I was definitely upset from yesterday's, and I have been given the chance today to redeem myself, and I did exactly so. So I'm not gonna lie, today's chart is a little crazy, but I'm gonna do my best to explain everything. So let's get into it. Today's bias was bearish. During prep bias, a bullish SMT formed, followed by a 3-minute bullish order block, and then a 1-minute bullish fair value gap. But 5 minutes before market open, price action formed a massive bearish SMT. Like, clear. It was just the same as yesterday. Like yesterday, a massive bullish SMT formed, and it was literally visible across from 1 minute time frame all the way to the 4-hour time frame, or at least a 1 hour, whatever. But basically, that should have been my go to actually flip my bias and go, okay, well, we're not bearish anymore, we're bullish. And I made the mistake of ignoring that and not acknowledging it and going, I'll stay bearish. Continue to basically mark out things that were basically setups for that bullish move or that bullish bias, that bullish entry even, and just totally ignored it. My brain was just so focused on that bearish bias. So yeah, I was upset about that. But again, as I said, price action today formed a massive bearish SMT that was visible across from the 1 minute time frame to the 30-minute time frame. And man, seeing that, I smiled. I was at work, obviously, but they have like these conference rooms that you can like basically use to like, I guess be alone and stuff and get work done. But technically, I am getting work done. Anyway, I was just there marking on my laptop, and I don't have a mouse. I just use a laptop. So I was just there on the mouse, like the mouse track, and I was like, I literally smiled so hard. I need to be able to, dude, I need to get like a gaming laptop or like a high performance laptop or a PC so I can like record my trading sessions. But anyway, yeah, price action formed a massive bearish SMT that was visible across the 1 minute time frame all the way to 30-minute time frame, which instantly shifted my bias. So my setup today was bearish SMT, high time frame alignment, 1 minute bearish order block, second bearish SMT confirmation, and then liquidity sweep of New York session from previous day, and then 1 minute bearish inverse fair value gap giving execution signal. That's staggered, by the way. All of that I just read you is staggered from what happened first, bearish SMT, high time frame alignment, all the way to the last thing I entered off of, which was the 1 minute bearish inverse fair value gap giving execution signal. Anyway, today's entry was short entry after 1 minute fair value gap inversion. TP set at pre-market liquidity line. Stop loss placed above invalidation zone and adjusted for consistent 1.5 risk-reward ratio. What I did well today, learned directly from yesterday's missed double S plus tier setup, executed decisively with no hesitation. Man, the second I saw that SMT, SMT divergence. I just waited for everything to, you know, stack up, and then we got to that 1 minute bullish fair value gap, and it was a big spot. And I was like, man, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Okay, if I miss a trade today because I decided to flip my bias to bearish, I could care less. I could care less. I am trusting my setup right now. I'm learning from my mistake from yesterday, and I'm making sure it doesn't happen again. We are bearish, and I'm waiting for this shit to either get inversed or something happens like a breakage structure to the downside. That's all I need. Inverse or breakage structure. That's all I fucking need. Give me it and I'm ready. The second that shit invalidated that fair value gap, I entered. I literally went, I bet. That's literally all I did. I literally entered so quick, man. Not even hesitating. I didn't even second guess myself. I didn't even doubt myself, bro. I just did it. Like, why not? But yeah, man. Maintain confidence and composure despite candle movement. I mean, I don't know why ChatGPT put that. I mean, I wasn't even scared. I was hitting one of these after I entered. Oh, this is gonna be an easy win. Yeah, well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. That's literally what I did. I literally just kicked back and relaxed, watched TikTok on my phone, went to the bathroom. We have to enter data for work when we get off work. So that's what I went and did, came back, and boom. TP was hit off a long-ass wick, and I was like, bad. Bad. Anyway, practice good risk management and emotional control. What I will improve, I don't have to take anything. Well, I don't have anything to take from today is the correct term here to say. But yeah, I don't really see any flaws from today. I'm just really happy I was given the opportunity to like just redeem myself, you know, and just the opportunity to see if I'm capable of, you know, learning from my mistakes as quick as possible. Like what if I had made the same mistake from yesterday today? That would definitely make me very upset, could affect me definitely psychologically, emotionally, you know, mentally, all that, and could make me start questioning myself. So I'm glad that didn't happen because, again, I'm fucking hyper aware, man. I was really upset after yesterday, you know. I let the entire session play out, and after the session ended, or when I decided the session was good to end, that's when I literally let my emotions run free, because that's the only time I think is okay for a trader to, you know, basically react based off of emotions, you know, because the session's over. It's okay to be emotional now, you know. It's good to start realizing what you did, whether it's good or bad. And yesterday definitely started off with like, okay, well, I messed up. But then it started building up, you know, as I talked about it in that video, that 15-minute video. It just started building up, and I was like starting to get really mad. I was like, damn, bro, like I'm dumb as hell. Like, how did I miss that shit? Why did I not realize that? Why did I decide to just ignore it? But yeah, I don't really have anything to take from today. I redeemed myself immediately, and like I said, it will never happen again. And look what happened. It did not happen again, because I'm gonna keep saying this. My losses will never amount to my wins. Never. And even if it does outweigh my wins for a moment, it will never stay for longer than it needs to. I'm not saying yesterday outweighed my wins. Hell no. The point is, my losses will never amount to my wins. Never. Never. Okay? Damn, who's slamming their dough like that? Anyway, what I will improve, I guess ChatGPT put this, continue refining patience to maximize an A plus tier setup and double S tier setups. So since, you know, today really correlates with yesterday and what happened, it's just the complete opposite. So yesterday was a counter trend for, you know, bullish bias, which is what I should have done. But today instead it's bearish bias. But yesterday was a double S plus tier set. That's really hard to say. You try saying that 5 times fast. But I'm gonna change that. I don't know why ChatGPT didn't put the plus. There's a plus for a reason. But Anyway, yesterday was a double S plus tier setup, but today, although it's the same thing and it correlates in some way, it's only an A plus tier setup, and I'll show you why very soon. But yeah, notes today felt internally fulfilling compared to yesterday. Even though I won yesterday, it didn't feel like growth because I missed a best tier trade. I mean, that was my career best setup so far, and I just didn't take it. But yeah, today I recognized the same conditions, shifted bias instantly, and executed an A plus setup without hesitation. Very proud of the improvement, discipline, and ability to redeem myself. Excited to carry this momentum into next week's first combine mock-up test. So yeah, that's it for our trading journal entry. Let's get into the charts. We can turn off the camera because it uses more CPU, apparently. Anyway, so here's my charts. Let's hop down to the 5-minute time frame and hope it doesn't do that. There we go. So zoom in here a little bit so you can see everything I marked out. ChatGPT didn't seem to mention like what I spotted, but here was why oh no, it did mention, okay. So yeah, you can see why my bias was initially bullish. So I had this bullish SMT, bullish order block, bullish fair value gap, all of that good stuff. And it was all during prep bias and then into pre-market. So that's cool. We also have these massive imbalance zones. Just this isn't an entire, this box right here is not an entire fucking fair value gap or whatever, or inverse fair value gap. This is a literal imbalance zone. I mean, inverse fair value gaps and fair value gaps coincide within this zone here, and same with this box. That's why it's so big. Like, it's pretty fucking big, bro. But damn, I'm getting 15 FPS. Anyway, so yeah, I started marking out some things. You can see the 5-minute bearish fair value gap I marked out. You can see the, dude, this shit's massive. Look, it's not really like, cause yeah. But on 30-minute, it is noticeable. So yeah, it's noticeable from 1 minute all the way to 30-minute time frame, and that's our bearish SMT. So afterwards, I looked everywhere for a bit, trying to see if there's anything else I could spot, and I guess help me with my setup, because again, just this SMT alone just made me realize what was happening within that moment. I was like, okay, this is the same thing that happened yesterday, just the absolute opposite. So scaling down to the 1 minute time frame, yeah, here's the bearish order block, like literally on market open. Pretty big zone. We still have this 5-minute bearish fair value gap. I don't think I mentioned that, but whatever. It doesn't really count, I guess, because it's totally way before the SMT. So I can't just sit here and be like, oh yeah, I got my key level tap, and then my bias continuation confirmation was based off a 5-minute bullish fair value gap or a bearish fair value gap. Yeah, no, that's off of this. Anyway, yeah, so just overall, we got bearish SMT, and then this bearish order block from the 1 minute time frame. And then afterwards, we had this second bearish SMT that I noted. And then, yeah, we had this liquidity sweep. This sweep right here was from yesterday's session, like at 8 a.m. or something like that. I think so. Yes, 8:20 a.m. from Thursday, which was yesterday. And we swept those previous highs. And then that was a liquidity sweep there. After I noted that, I was also able to, mark this out upon right here. So I was really just waiting for this because we were just bouncing off of this and also this bearish order block. So this was obviously, it was a bullish fair value gap. It was like this. So we were sandwiched basically between these two, wicking into this bullish fair value gap and giving good retrace basically, but also touching the bearish order block. And you can see right here, this is when I started realizing, okay, bet. Yeah, we're definitely going down somewhere. But just this alone, this type of structure alone, like this right here, is enough to tell me that we're not going to have like a straight up fucking big momentum, like, you know, a breakout type of deal. Yesterday was way better. I mean, I can literally show you. Wow, where did I go? Here was yesterday's, I think, or was it like, oh no, sorry. It'd be like around here or somewhere. Yeah. It'd be like right here technically, I guess. There we go. So as you can see, this is a big breakout from like yesterday. You can see like 6:50 a.m. and it just went all the way up. It didn't have like no, like, you know, none of this where it's like up and then down and then up and then down and then up. It wasn't like that. It just went completely up, just broke out compared to today's. So although it is correlating to yesterday's scenario or situation, it just isn't the same tier or the same, you know, like momentum, I guess. But yeah, so back to it. We did invalidate it and got candle closure. And the second I got candle closure, I didn't even wait. I just entered immediately, as close as possible as I could get, because, you know, you never know if it'll just like open the candle next up and continue downwards. But yeah, I mean, the wick right here. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. This is literally where I entered, like where the wick was at, and I went past it. So I would definitely get filled. Pause. But yeah, so I set my TP at this liquidity line, which was marked out during like pre-market, which was nice. I usually take these out, like, because you see like candles went down and technically sweeped it, but just with all these wicks, these long wicks, I don't know if that would really count as like, you know, this is now like sweeped, I guess, of liquidity or whatever. But anywho, I'm glad I didn't just get rid of this, because as you can see, like I usually do this, like I would have like this here for liquidity, let's say, and you can see I have the arm marked out and all that. It would just be like that, you know, like just basically. But yeah, so I'm glad I didn't remove that, and that gave me basically some sort of like, you know, I guess, how would you phrase this? I guess an idea of where to like put my TP. Because imagine if I was like, okay, yeah, we're going to set it at this key level line right here. That's right at the bullish order block. And of course, yeah, I think this would make sense. Technically, like textbook wise, this would make sense, because like, oh, like it's a bearish bias and it's not that strong though. We did consolidate for a bit, and we barely even got candle closure. It wasn't really a big move down to even show volatility. We did get a decent liquidity sweep from yesterday's highs. So, you know, technically, if there was a decent amount of volatility, I would set my TP here. But because like then it could like reverse or like continue up and then continue downwards or whatever, you know. But I'm glad I had this liquidity line here, and yeah. So you can see it wicked past just a little bit, and I got closed P&L, and that's good enough for me. It continued back up. I thought we were continuing bullish from a pre-market bias, but nope. We continue downwards, and you can see what I mean by like it just kept moving up and down. It wasn't just like a consistent move down compared to yesterday's, which is why it's not making it not even an S tier setup or an S plus tier setup. It's just not even a double S tier setup, or, you know, because yesterday was a double S plus tier setup. This is just an A plus tier setup. That's it. You know, this move alone is $515 on an XFA, because I mean I'm going for profits at that point on an XFA. If I have an A plus setup, and I don't know how many times I've mentioned this in the past, damn, that's a pretty nice move up. I don't know how many times I've mentioned this in the past, but anything above an A plus tier setup, I can scale. As in, I can take, you know, I can take more trades than one. Let's say I could go one trade here, and then if I know it's gonna go up and sweep liquidity again for a liquidity grab, go down. Because now I know that we're going for liquidity grab because oh yeah, also because price action was there's just really no there's no news today that was really impactful. So it was just mostly like orange folders that I saw on Forex Factory. So usually when that happens, what I've noticed so far is like we go for liquidity grabs or reversals and whatnot. So I basically just kept that in mind, like in the back of my head as well. But anyway, on an XFA, on an A plus tier setup or anything above an A plus tier setup, I will be scaling. And technically I would set a trade up like this. It'd be like maybe one trade here, and then second trade here. Maybe I'd realistically set my TP here, or even like just to be careful here, or even here again. At the end of the day, 30, let's see, close P&L 37.25. That's not bad. You know, these are big moves. You know, this is double, so this would be like 1,000, I think, maybe. Yeah, 1.9 risk reward. Yeah, that's definitely like double this, because yeah, that's definitely double that. Maybe a little less, probably like 700, 800. Let's see. Let's check. Let's see if K is capping. Let's see if my math is right based off of just estimates. Oh, look at that. Yeah, 700, 800, whatever, 880. Anyway, but yeah, I would basically scale. We did, wow, look at that bearish order block, dude. Oh my god. And it seems like you were just touching this line a lot, this 5 minute bearish fair value gap. This, oh, it's down here. This. Now, I wouldn't want to extend my trade. If I were to take this trade, I'd rather enter right here. I wouldn't enter at this wick, but it would most likely have to be like this, honestly, because I would need the whole candle to form and see if it's an actual bearish order block, and see how, you know, momentum is. But I would, being honest here, because I'm not gonna lie and be like, yeah, man, I would set my fucking TP right here, you know, and then screw that trade, you know. This is exactly what I would do, guys. Yep. That's not realistic. This is what my trade will look like if I was to take, you know, an actual XFA trade or whatever. Just being realistic here, like even with like risk management, this is what I would be willing to risk and what I would be willing to do. Of course, I'm not taking in consideration of like RR. This second trade, I wouldn't even be willing to risk that much. It would have to be right here, man. It'd have to be something like this, because just a bearish order block, like, come on. Like, we wicked past the 5 minute bearish fair value gap. That would scare me if I was to take that trade. I'd be like, oh, that's a little risky, but we did get a bearish order block. So this, I think I would, yeah, it'd be like around this range where I set my SL. I might even like even it out just to keep consistency at that point. But at that point, again, like if I'm on an XFA, like I would just have to, of course, like keep in mind, like, okay, just remember risk management. It's no longer like just trying to be quote unquote consistent in RR, in my opinion, at least. So this is what it will look like. Realistically, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this is an A plus tier setup. Remember that. I'm not going to sit here and say I would take a massive trade like this and scale units. That's not realistic. Okay. Anyone that says that, get the fuck offline, bro. Okay. Get offline. You're chronically online and you need to go touch grass, or you need to go to the gym. You need to get a job. You need to do something about your life. There's no way you would be willing to risk all of this. This is shit movement, bro. This is horrible movement. I would rather take section trades like these than rather like a whole one trade. Because what if it just moves down, but then instead of continuing downwards and then retrace and then downwards and then barely consolidating a little bit, now long wicks and all that, what if it just moves down, just tanks up? Because you wanted to be cool and take a big ass trade and you can't handle big boy stuff like that. Stupid. This. This I am more than willing to understand. Retrace into inverse fair value gap. Look at that. Keep going, man. That's a really good trade. Holy shit. But anywho, you know, this is it. This is my entire setup for today. So let's remove all this. Oh yeah, here's S&P, but nothing crazy went on in S&P, to be honest, as you can see. That was the 5-minute time frame, huh? I don't know. Damn, it's getting bright as fuck. My eyes are starting to hurt. Where is it? Anyway, damn, it is bright as hell, bro. This is why I don't keep my blinds open the second I get home. How is it September and it's like so sunny and hot, bro? Like, come on. It's never been like this. Except back in like 2016. Okay. Yeah, I'm like 5'5". Anyway. Yeah, so not a bad day, man. Why is the exposure so high? Whatever. Anyway, not a bad day though. I'm happy for sure. Internally, externally, whatever, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. I'm happy. Definitely redeemed myself, and I'm happy I was able to do so and given the opportunity through price action during market. Ooh. And yeah, so next week is going to be our last week for this month. We'll be officially 2 months into our assessment, and I think with the rate we're at, I know I said I was still expecting losses for this week at least, but hey, it didn't happen. If anything, today could have been a loss. Literally, today could have been a loss if, you know, I decided to go bullish and entered off like one of those pre-market, you know, imbalances, even on the 1 minute time frames. Or what if I had entered on that bullish fair value gap that was inverse and given me my, you know, entry for my bearish bias? So what if I entered on that bullish fair value gap? I could have lost today. But that's why I'm saying, like, I was given the opportunity to prove myself right today, like redeem myself, and I'm actually really fucking happy that I was given that chance from the market itself, man. Like that just shows me, like, that literally shows me, proves to me, to myself, that I'm doubting myself too much and I'm not realizing where I'm really at, you know, like in terms of like skill and experience. Like I keep thinking like I'm, you know, not good or some shit, and the exposure is going crazy on the camera, making me look like a Korean model. Like, relax, bro. It is not that deep. Is that better? What if I need to turn off exposure or like lower it? Oh, wow. I kind of like that. Why did the FPS drop though? The FPS drops for exposure? That's kind of stupid, but okay. Anyway, so yeah, I turned the brightness down, so now everything's like really fucking dark. Like this fucking hoodie looks like it's pure fucking black, but it's faded as fuck. Anyway, so yeah, I'm happy about today's session, man. It just shows where I'm at, like in skill. I'm not saying like, you know, today or this week has definitely like showed me like I'm better psychologically. I've made some improvements for sure, but I definitely still have a lot of work to do. I obviously still have a lot of work to do. But again, anyway, following up with next week, since this is the last month and I do plan on taking a combine test in October, that means I need to prepare myself. I need to set real expectations, real rules, and basically just simulate it for real, not just simulate the environment of what trading is like now, because I've been doing that for 2 months now. I need to simulate what it's like to take a combine test, or just, you know, be in a combine and trying to pass it so I can get an XFA. So yeah, next week, I don't really like how dark it's looking now. Sorry. I'm really picky, aren't I? I know. Who likes somebody that's picky? Not me. Anyway, so next week I'll be making a mock-up of a combine test from Top Step, their rules. I have everything, you know, maximum loss limit, daily loss limit, profit target, and then it was like something about like what? Consistency target, yeah, profit target, and then products and hours, all that. So I will be resetting our account balance to 50K, which is what I would want to get for an XFA. But yeah, so at the end of this month, I'll give you my total P&L for, you know, just the past 3 weeks so far, and then how I did on that week, because I'm not going to add next week into the past 3 weeks of this month. That wouldn't make sense if I'm resetting my account balance and making it a mock-up test of a combine. Come on. So yeah, I guess this is the last day I'm trading on my assessment as of, you know, for now, until I see if I can pass a combine. If I do good next week and, you know, the analysis comes back that I'm ready and I can do it, and I feel like I can do it, then I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm there. I'm ready. But until then, you know, afterwards, after the analysis, I'll give my P&L for the 3 weeks we did of September, how I did, P&L, risk reward, whatever, you know, total risk reward, all that, you know, just the basics. And then how I did on next week, all that. And then yeah, I'll get the combine if I pass the analysis, the assessment, I guess, you know, 40 days in officially next week. And yeah, so nothing much to say, man. Just gotta keep grinding. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. But basically for you, it'll be like next video or some shit. But I'll see you guys next week, and peace out. Where's my mouse?